Have you ever been like in the middle of a really good date? Some of you may have to think back a while, I'm sorry. But have you ever been in the middle of a really good date and it seems like the conversation is going so well? Like you have similar interests, similar passions, and it's just like the conversation's flowing. Or maybe you're married, you have kids, and you finally got the kids to bed and the chaos and the anarchy stops. And you find yourself on the couch with your wife or with your husband, and at last you can have adult time. You can connect on a deeper level than baths and cooking and cleaning and chores and refereeing fights. Or you're out hanging out with your friends. You're shooting, you're shopping, you're out fishing, hunting, hiking, whatever you and your people do, and you're just having a good time, having a great conversation, getting to know one another, getting to be with each other. But then something happens. And if I had $1 every time this happened, I'd be a rich man. This might be my fault. But they reach into their pocket and they pull out this guy, their phone. Maybe theirs isn't cracked, mine is, it's whatever. But they pull out their phone, and I get that because it's like the teenage and the adult version of the security blanket. But they don't just pull it out just to hold on to it. They unlock it, they open an app, and they just start scrolling through Pinterest, scrolling through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever their social media poison of choice is. And they just keep scrolling and scrolling, and the conversation and the time of fun goes from that to, yeah, oh gosh, I know, it's crazy. And you can just tell they're just not in it anymore. Now here's the thing, this isn't like a tirade against technology because we've all had that done to us, but we've all also done that. And I think there's a really good reason for that. It's because we're all prone to wander. We're all prone to getting distracted. The moment your mind starts to get bored, there's a fix for that. And instead of pushing through the boring parts of a conversation or a relationship, we get distracted. We pull out our phones. We go on to the next activity. We go on to the next fling, the next date, because that was boring and it wasn't fun, because we so easily get distracted. Like a dog who sees a squirrel. That's what we so often do. And it's so incredibly dangerous for so many reasons. For one, we've been talking about heroes the past couple of weeks and how our world right now needs heroes. Our country, our state, our families. Your kids need you as the mom and the dad to step up and be the hero. Your husband, your wife, the next generation, our church, our communities. They need us as God's people to step up and be heroes, to encourage, to advocate, to endure, to pray, to lead up and help the next generation be all that God put them here to be. They need us to be heroes. But it's so hard for us to focus on what we're supposed to do, on all of those things, when we literally live in a world that's hardwired to distract us, that's hardwired to make us chase all these seemingly important things and drop the urgent things, like our families and our friends and being the church and loving God and loving people. But there's a fix for that. And Jesus taught it so very well, maybe not so much in some of the words that he said, though he did that too, but also through the things that he did. Throughout the Gospels, you'll find him all the time retreating from the crowds and from the craziness and all the important things and all the people demanding his attention and withdrawing to lonely places and praying and spending time with God. Having intentional, set-apart time where he could focus on the things that truly are important. See, so much of our days and our lives, it's filled with distractions and it's filled with things that aren't really that important. And we devote our time and our attention to those things to the detriment of family and friend and church and God and community. So what is it that you need to draw away from? And who is it that you need to start giving attention to? Intentional attention. Attention on purpose, not just when the notion strikes you or it's easy, but regularly and intentionally. The psalmist would write a similar thing in Psalm 46 when he would say, "Be still and know that I am God." And God's literally talking to a group of people in this psalm that's at war. And they're busy doing all these things that seem important. And it's like he's trying to grab them by the shirt collar and say, "Hey, stupid, stop all these things that you're doing. I'm God. I've got this. Follow me. Stop chasing social media. Stop chasing that fling. Stop chasing all these things that seem important and chase what's most important, loving me and loving people." So for you and in your life, what are the distractions that are keeping you from being the hero that God put you here to be? For me, oftentimes it's my phone. I spend more time on it than I do devoted to other people and to relationships. And I'm so much healthier and happier when I have restrictions and when I have boundaries put in place. For you, maybe it's a relationship. Maybe you're 30 and you're 40 and it's still video games. Maybe it's lazy time and leisure time. Maybe your kids exhaust you and so you just tend to check out. Maybe it's easier not to invest in the next generation. So rather than spending Sundays and Wednesdays or your free time investing, you go and just do what you want instead. There are so many things that distract us from being the heroes that God placed us here to be. But those heroes, it's exactly why God has us here.